Alright, I'm going to talk about the worst day of my whole life. It was the last week of 6th grade. You know, we were going to have a school dance, we were going to have a softball game to get some teachers and everything. It was like the greatest week of my life. So I got home, do my daily routine. I was like, okay, I'm going to play video games. I'm going to start eating until like I can't eat no more. So until my buddy Mondo lives across the street from me, he called me up. He's like, dude, I got something. You got to come see this, you know? And I was like, what is it, dude? Like, I'm eating. Like, don't bother me. So I was like, all right, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Once I got to his house, I went across the street. Another friend, Javier, he came at the same time as me. So he was like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, well, Mondo just told me, like, he has something to show me. So I was like, well, let's just go both check it out at the same time. So we're like, all right. We went to the backyard. Seriously, I see like this huge trampoline, like half the size of this room. Him and his dad were just like jumping. I'm like, dude, I told you this was gonna be fun. I was like a little kid, so I was like so excited. So I just ran into the trampoline. So I was like, dude, this is like so fun. And then we went inside. We were like, and Mondo told my friend, he was like, hey, dude, we should wrestle. Like, this is like a perfect place to wrestle. So we're like, all right, let's go at it. So we were like just doing these flips, doing front flips, doing like these super slams, these drop kicks and everything. You know, it was like the best day of my life. Until my friend Mondo's dad came in. He was like, hey, can I join in? I was like, are you sure this is gonna be safe? Like, seriously, he's like at least like 6 feet high. He was like a big dude. He barely came out of prison. Looked like so. And then he was like, all right, sure, why not? So it was like 3 against 1. We were jumping on him. You know, we were like, we could take him down. So I guess he took out my other friends. They took him out. They threw him off the trampoline. It was just me and him one-on-one. So I got him on top of him. I was like riding a bull. He was like shaking me off and everything. And I guess I was like choking him, and I guess he couldn't breathe. So I let go. And at the same time he was shaking me off, he threw me off the trampoline. And he didn't even throw me on the part of the grass. He threw me off like where the cement was. So I landed like this, like a cat would, but I wasn't a cat, so I just landed on my hands like this, and I just heard a snap on my wrist. I was like, oh, dude, like, what the hell? Like, I told him off. He's like, you really gonna talk to me like that? I just like, fuck, you know. I was like, oh man. And I got up. I didn't want to cry because I want to be like a big shot, but inside I was kind of like a little bitch. Like, I was like, oh, dude, let me go show my mom, you know. So I ran back home. I went across the street, and then I just showed my mom. My mom panicked. She like literally started crying. She started like, mi hijo, you know. Like, oh, we should help him. And I guess so. We rushed to the hospital. We got to the hospital, right? And then we went to the front desk. She was like, oh, my son's arm's broken. Somebody should help him. She's like, okay then. Well, we gotta fill out this paperwork. And my mom flipped out. She threw the papers in the air, right? And she was like, I want to see a damn doctor now. And I guess, no, but you gotta wait. So she just dragged me inside the room. She grabbed like any kind of doctor like there was, like just walking around. And I guess we were just, and the doctor, he was like a psychiatrist, I think. He was like, I don't do that stuff. I'm not a so I can't help you. So we were like, oh, but we just need somebody. I was like, so luckily there was a doctor that does the x-rays and everything, like checks the arms and all the stuff for the broken parts of the body. We got in. He put us in a room. He was like, well, all right, just sit down and we'll come back for some paperwork and for some x-rays. We were like, okay then. He came back. He told my mom that my insurance expired 2 days ago, so we couldn't do anything about it. I was like, oh man. I was like, thanks, doc, with my wrist just hanging like this. I was like, so what can we do? He's like, well, you can come back next week if you stay in, but that's going to be like extra charges. My mom didn't want it. We were like in debt right now, so we couldn't do anything about it. We went back home. Right? And then my mom just gave me pills that the doctor gave us, right? And then I was just staying in bed, just thinking about, oh my God, dude, I'm going to miss the school dance. I'm not going to play in the soft. I was more worried about that than my arm. Like, and then my mom was like, she started praying, you know, like she started over-exaggerating, like if I was like in a coma or something. I'm like, Mom, I'm like still here, like, okay, your son's not going anywhere. And then my mom just gave me pills. You know, it was like a pretty relaxed day, but I had to miss the whole week of school. You know, I missed the opportunity, like what a 6th grader will have, you know, for memories, but I guess I never cherished it and never experienced it. So that was like the worst day of my life. Thank you.